allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Our next roll call, please.
Yoon Min,
Present.
Agnieszka Garcia,
Present.
Stu Chung, Ellen John,
Yes.
Kevin Lim,
Here.
Rebecca Lee,
Here.
Anthony Kim,
Here.
William Kim,
Here.
Charlie Shin,
Yes.
Dr. Cirillo,
Present.
John McCann.
Present.
Thank you.
Okay. In compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231 PL 1975, I hereby state that adequate notice of this special meeting has been provided to the public by a written notice dated August 16, 2023. Date of published notice. The meeting notice has been emailed to all staff members at the district's 3 school locations, communicated to at least one of the board designated newspapers, filed with the Borough Clerk of Palisades Park. Okay, now we are going to review and discuss resolutions voted on at the special meeting. So let's start with finance. William Kim, please.
There are 22 items on consent agenda for this meeting. Given the number of items that I just opened it up for questions or comments from the board, otherwise move to approve consent agenda items 1 through 22.
I just want to clarify, this is the work session, not the, or is this the?
This is the work session.
Okay, alright.
Question, with the hood cleaning and all that, where is that done in all 3 schools?
What number, Rebecca? Is this number one?
With the nitty gritty?
Yeah, so that's, so clearly there's 3 different invoices. That's very likely. You can see, invoice number 12924 is at the high school. 12925 is ECC, and 12926 is at Lindbergh. So all 3 schools have their, in preparation for the school year, have the hoods cleaned. I think it's twice a year, actually. Once a year, John? Thank you.
And the defryer?
Again, this
By
is-
the customer supply.
Yep, so all of this comes out of the food service line. So any money received from student lunches or from the federal government with free or reduced students, we are potentially replacing, and this would be 2 deep fryers where they're making chicken nuggets or french fries. So that's the purchase of 2 new machines.
No, that was just the installation, we purchased, these were a lot.
Oh, that was the installation, you're right, rollback it says, I apologize.
There were 4 changes in the school system, 2 at high school, 2 installed the high school new ones, 2 at Lindbergh. They were only like 30 years old, they were almost as old as I am.
Any other questions?
Yeah. Here.
Yes, sir.
I don't know which month it is, but there is a amount paid to the Ridgefield as a tuition, 58,527 in the bill
Number,
list.
Mr. Shin?
It's in the bill list.
In the bill list,
Yes.
okay.
And we paid to Ridgefield as a tuition $58,527. Then there is adjustment again to Ridgefield. Adjustment of tuition $50,603. So I'd like to know what that is.
The July or August bill list?
I think in July. Yeah.
Alex?
That was
copy
in
of
bill
it?
list. Yes.
July here.
So we paid the 58,000 one time as a tuition, then there was another payment as an adjustment, 50,000 again. So I'd like to know what that is.
When did we pay the first 50,000? I'm sorry?
In July, I mean.
Which page number?
You don't have the list, Alex has the list.
Clearly, this is a tuition-based concern, that this is for a student, an out-of-district student. I'm not sure what page we're referring to or what bill list, the July or the August. But it's very likely, the 58,000 sounds very
Are you talking
On
about
par?
tuition, June 3B 0771 58?
What page, Rebecca?
Five
It's easier if we know the page we're looking at.
July. Two.
Oh, it's July.
I think
The
it's
July bill list?
Yeah, page 2.
Okay, go ahead.
That's just what I wanna know, so if you don't have an answer at this time, it's okay, just to let me know later, okay?
So, I'm sure it's a
I just to
tuition.
clarify what that is, just.
It's 23-0041.
And then I believe what Mr. Shin is claiming is on page 13. There's a tuition audit adjustment of $50,603
That's correct.
on page 13 of the July bill list. So clearly, we may have budgeted for additional students to go. If there's an audit adjustment, we had an additional student that was not budgeted originally. So it looks like one additional student, Alex, is that right?
Usually 50,000 for.
So one additional student may have requested or could have moved to town, and we have to pay for another student to go out of district.
So we sent that student to the Ridge Field without budget in advance.
That's correct.
Okay.
If they move to town tomorrow and they come to us from another school with an IEP, with an individualized education plan, and it requires an out-of-district placement, that's what makes the job of budgeting for special needs children out of district so difficult. We are required to provide them with that placement if that's what they decide for.
Okay, then if that's the case, okay, when you put the tuition, usually you put the student ID number there, so why don't you put the student ID number later, okay?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Alex, can we make an adjustment or amend the bill list to reflect a student ID number?
Right.
So at least we know what money is following what child. Thank you, very good point. Can you pass that to Alex, please?
Okay, any other questions?
And one more question.
Of course.
Okay.
We had fire in Lindbergh School,
Yes.
so, can you just estimate what amount we can get from insurance and what
Yeah.
amount we have to pay?
Yeah, so I'm gonna talk about that in my report during the regular or during the special meeting.
Okay.
Okay?
Any other questions? Okay, if not, we'll now move to the buildings and ground. Anthony Kim, please.
No report at this time.
Okay, thank you. Next one would be personnel, Ms. Agnes Kagasha.
Before you see, 9 resolutions, an additional resignation was just added yesterday, it's my understanding, to the personnel resolutions.
Okay, any other questions about that? On the personnel report? If not, let's go on to curriculum, Rebecca Lee.
There's 2 consent agendas, and Dr. Chirillo will explain in further detail of what they are.
Sure, under curriculum, letter N, annually, there is a request and my recommendation that we continue to work with the Bergen County Special Services Program. This is a suspension alternative program where a student who may be a repeat offender, in lieu of just suspending them and sending them home, we enter an agreement with this program, which takes place at the PAL building in Hackensack, where the student would receive educational services, counseling. It is a 5-day program where they must complete all 5 days. They have an intake with the parent or guardian and an exit interview. And what we've seen it to be very successful, whereas unfortunately, children make bad decisions, and the easy way out is to say, stay home. But that doesn't correct the wrong choice they may have made. I think it's important and imperative that we move on that first one. That is a $500 cost to the district, the suspension alternative program. And the second one is required for the federal government. It is the emergency virtual plan. So clearly when COVID happened, everyone was very reactive. We all did the very best we could. The law now requires us and every public school district in the state every 6 months to approve an emergency virtual plan that's sent to the county for review. So in the event, God forbid, there was a concern, we'd have a plan. Because we have a board resolution that's submitted to the county for approval, we would be able to do such.
I just wanted to clarify, number one, with the suspension, alternative program, it's for students who are, suspended for 5 or more days, not just 1 or 2.
Yeah, the program will not accept any students if it's a 1 or 2 day suspension. It would require a minimum of 5 consecutive days. Thank you, Rebecca.
Any other questions? If not, we'll move to the negotiation. Mr. Kevin, please.
Today, we don't have any consent agenda.
Okay. Thank you. Next one is a policy, any
There's no report,
Thank
no
you.
update on policy.
Okay. Next one, New Jersey School Board liaison, alternate, Susan is not here, but no report at this time now, right? And we are going on to County School Board rep, alternate, Helen Chun, please.
I am one notified to the board member, so 2023 to 2024 Bergen County SBA meeting schedule, so 5 times per year. So first meeting is October 3rd, Tuesday, so if we want to join the meeting, the board member can go. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Chun. Do you have any other question about it? No? Okay, let's go on to school safety and security committee, any Stabashia?
There are, no updates, no reports, and no consent agenda, but they just wanted to provide an update. And speaking with Dr. Cirillo, faculty and staff will be reporting next week, and safety school procedures will be reviewed, with staff, and reminding of safety procedures.
Additionally, this afternoon, I spoke with Chief Espino. We will continue our MOA, which is required by law. That will very likely be up for a recommendation to the board for resolution as soon as the state provides it to us. Additionally, we have last year we brought a few of our local police officers to our schools to speak to our faculty and staff as a whole. This year, we are doing it specifically in each of our buildings. So if there are any questions specific to a school, it's not a general question that might not encompass a, one-size-fits-all answer. The answer would be specific to each of the buildings. We're gonna start that in the second week of September. Yes.
Is there any way you could bring it up to,
Crossing guards, I did today,
Yes,
I
please.
apologize, thank you very much. I spoke to Captain Gasparovich this morning about crossing guards. They have a meeting tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. at the Borough Hall. He says they are fully staffed.
Okay.
I actually brought to his attention the big concern near the junior, senior high school. He told me that although they did not have that section, as a crossing guard area, he would have a special police officer. I said I would hold him to it. That conversation was had this morning with him. Thank you for bringing
But
that up.
as a parent, I've seen the special officer or the traffic officer there, like, just chatting away many times. So,
Well,
can you bring it up so that, especially during the morning and in the afternoon when the kids are let out, just
As
please
a-
pay attention.
I will do it, and the reality is they are not our employees.
Yes, I know.
So I'm asking for assistance from the borough, from the police department. I'm
It's funded by the
grateful,
borough.
I'm grateful that he did share with me that they are fully staffed.
That's good.
I brought up that one intersection that was of a concern.
And it's by the underpass?
I did explain
Okay.
exactly where we talked of. So he told me that they would have a special. I will tell you, again, if we see that, we need to share that with them, and I will do the same.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Other question? Yes.
Actually, this is for the finance, but I forgot to ask this. Can I ask now?
Yes.
Work session.
Okay, this is work session, so yours.
Okay, sure.
Okay. In July bill list, there is one check for $9,537. That was like a replacement check issued on June, August 2021, okay? So, is this replacement check for the check we issued like 2 years ago? Why didn't they deposit the check and issue again?
I can't speak to it. Alex, do you have the check he's referring to?
I believe.
In July, that's the check to First Cerebral Palsy of New Jersey Inc. $9,537 check.
I believe they
issued
just
in-
haven't, they just never cashed the check, so
Do
we
you know
did
what
a
the
stop
original
payment.
check was for?
That was
And
2
here's
years
a
ago.
question that I think Mr. Shin, we should ask. And as we know, when we have audit findings, that's something that may have, or should come up with an audit review. But as you're well aware, they do a selection of files, not every file. But regardless, we need to have a better system in place where we are running our own internal outstanding checks that are not deposited. So Alex, if you may, look into this tomorrow morning, let's find out, just for curiosity, when that original check was made. And let's see, even with first cerebral palsy, maybe the check was lost, why wasn't it deposited?
Yeah, that's what I wanted to know, why didn't they deposit the check, and what we did, okay, for the check, didn't cash it, okay? So,
I don't know why they didn't deposit the check, but I know on my end, I looked to see if it was cashed in our bank, and it wasn't, so I did a stop payment on that, and then we reissued them a different check.
Do you know when the original check was made, Alex?
I believe he said it was
2020,
2021,
2 years
July,
ago, yeah. So
July
this
to
is-
August 2021.
This doesn't make sense, yeah. 2 years old check, we should reissue the check.
Especially
again.
considering that our books are closed year after year.
Yep.
And we're not carrying over money.
So,
Let's follow up with first cerebral palsy. Let's find out why the check wasn't deposited and why it took them 2 years to realize it.
honestly, I'm more worried about our deposits than our payments. I hope they don't wanna cash it, they don't cash it.
The issue is though, then we're here 2 years later.
So is it
trying to
normal,
answer a
after
question that we
2
don't
years
have
we
an answer
didn't
to.
deposit the check, so please check, issue the check again, then should we issue check again? Yeah, it's.
We can follow up with them.
Straight.
Sure, I'll follow up, yep.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alex. Other questions? Other question, everyone? If not, we are going to close the work session and open the special meeting. May I please have a motion to close the work session and open the special meeting?
I motion, go ahead. Go ahead. I make a motion to close the work session and commence the special meeting.
Okay, second, and-
Second.
okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you very much. Now, report of the board president.
Yes,
At
ma'am.
this, yes. Do you have any questions? No? Okay. I have nothing to report at this time. Next, the report of the superintendent, Dr. Cirillo.
Thank you, Ms. Min, and I will try to be brief, but I also know, we did not meet in July, and there have been many updates that I do want, the board and any member of the public to be aware of. Clearly, next Tuesday is the return of school for our faculty and staff members. There are 2 days of professional development, followed by our students returning on Thursday, and Friday, of course, throughout the school year. We are very much looking forward to a very successful, a healthy, and clearly a fun school year, especially for the little kids who still have fun coming to school, not like my own children. But with that being said, as we know, there have been many upgrades, updates, and facility improvements. I commend the custodial staff, the maintenance staff, really the principals, the admin has overseen a lot this summer. This building alone, which we are sitting in, has completed the HVAC project that we set out for. Every classroom has air conditioning, has new univent systems. I wish I could tell you that all 3 schools have completed all of their HVAC work, but unfortunately, sometimes we are subjected to different contractors. As you know, Lindbergh Elementary School, we replaced the boilers in the boiler room. 2 brand new state-of-the-art boilers have been installed. 3, thank you, Joe. Beautiful, state-of-the-art, 22nd century boilers that are, ready to go. We've removed asbestos without a question throughout the district. Not just abatement of it, but remediation and ensuring that air quality tests have been performed after the fact to re-enter the facilities. The junior senior high school, as you remember, was the largest of our 3 schools' HVAC projects. I mentioned this way back when. The chiller, which is, there was a 53-week lead time, takes us to next spring and summer. But the amount of work in replacing of all piping throughout the building, removing, again, asbestos that was wrapped in the old pipes, going through ceilings, fixing roofs. I promise you, although it might not be evident by sight, the bathroom at the high school will be. The 2 bathrooms in the lobby are brand new, I'm gonna tell you, beautifully done. So I'm going on record to tell you, I hope our students appreciate the work. I hope they take care of the facilities, because again, it's not my building, it's their building, it's the community schools. But there's still so much work to do. Our high school library, we've decided that we are going to take the big open area where nowadays people are not researching as often in periodicals or in books. They're doing research online, and we need space. So we've taken the library and we've decided that we are going to divide it into 3 rooms. 1 larger section with 2 smaller rooms in the back with partitions dividing the room. Unfortunately, when you do work, as we all know, we don't know what lies underneath carpets or behind walls. And when the carpets were removed, we had asbestos had to be abated. We did it. We do everything we have to do. We've done new tiles there, as well as the classroom. I'm gonna go on record to tell you, we are, again, extremely fortunate that this is all being done with 0 increase to taxpayers. This is being done by way of grants that we receive. And you know, fortunately, we do have money in our food service line. Fortunately, we were able to use some of that money to upgrade our bathrooms at the high school. And again, I just want to answer Mr. Shin, because I know the question came about Lindbergh, especially where the fire took place. We are unfortunately still, I would call it in the remediation stage. We had to replace a shaft. Part of the August bill list was a $20,000 payment to replace a whole air conditioning shaft. The next steps would be reconstruction of the interior auditorium, library, media center. We have recouped approximately $220,000 from insurance to pay for ServPro, who was the company hired to do much of the cleanup. We are anticipating what the insurance adjusters have shared with us, approximately a total of near $1 million. We have not received that. What we received, we've already paid out for services rendered. As we continue updating and remodeling, we will submit our invoices for reimbursement. So this will be, I hope, a couple of months, but a more safe, clearly an updated media center for all the students and faculty at Lindbergh Elementary School.
Sorry to interrupt you, but what will happen to the books we all destroyed?
The books, we did a big fire. Unfortunately, the books were not salvageable. Anytime any of the ash or the soot from the fire went on the books, they were deemed no longer usable, and unfortunately they had to be put in the trash. We have been advised, and we kept an inventory of that catalog of all the books, that we would be reimbursed. Finally, I know in the October meeting, we are required to always do our state testing reports. That is a requirement within 60 days of the start of the school year. And last but not least, usually there was that young lady, not that she's not the young lady, but we had that other young lady to my right, Eliana Dela Cruz, is off to college. I have talked to Mr. Garcia. Every school board is ensuring that they have a student representative. I did have one young lady reach out to me who's being considered, but in all fairness to all students, we are gonna have any student interested show Mr. Garcia a letter of interest, and then hopefully by the September meeting, we will have a student rep sitting with us If multiple students are interested, we can do a rotation. I wanna be fair, I wanna be equitable. Thank you very much.
Dr. Cirillo,
Yes.
how about the preschool extra classroom?
Preschool
Where
extra
that's-
classroom, I finally heard back from the state. They were going to award us with an extra amount of money, as you can see in one of our resolutions. The location, clearly because there's no space here, was an off-site location. The minimum square footage was not met. We could not host the classroom in that site. The good news is, the state did not take the money back. We still have to find solutions. We can't just say that's a problem and we don't wanna fix it. We are looking at other areas within that school and other schools. As we all know, right now, we are currently entering next week with 90 students in preschool, 9-0. 1 year from now, we have to be prepared for 180. We need 6 more classrooms by next year at this time. If you know where they are, help me find them. I do have some ideas. We are working towards finding solutions. We did submit grants to the state. We have yet to hear back, but I've been told so far good things only. I'm the kind of person that needs to see it black and white, not word of mouth.
Did we do the registration for some grades?
We did re-registration for 5th and 11th grades.
5th and 11th?
Yes, sir. We have, we've unfortunately ruffled a lot of feathers of a lot of people, but we're ensuring that they do live here. We also continue to work with our residency officer. Yesterday, I know he went to visit 2 homes of children that both do reside in Palisades Park. So we continue to do what we can.
Any other
Thank you.
questions?
You're welcome.
I just wanna make sure on the student rep, we sort of thought about it in January and I didn't get to know before, but we may wanna just outline what the expectations of the student rep are, so we have a clear standard as to what, so the students know what they're putting themselves up for.
So I know, and I reached out to New Jersey school boards, some districts have elementary students, because technically you're supposed to report back on some student, programs and events within the school. I hope, I'm not jinxing it, this is a much more pleasant, experience the last few months. And I don't wanna subject any children, to behaviors that are just not appropriate.
Right, or maybe a PTA parent from the school, from the
But it
ECC.
wouldn't be a student rep, which is the issue. To
Right.
sit here, you'd have to be a student
Right.
rep. But again, we will, first we'll identify what students are
Right.
interested,
Right,
and then we'll explain to them the expectations.
okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, other questions? If not, thank you very much, Mr. Dr. Sorio.
You're welcome.
Okay. Next one, report of the Board of Attorney, John.
I have no.
Okay, thank you. Okay, now I'm going to move to the approval of board minutes for June 27, 2023 special meeting minutes. May I please have a motion on that?
I make a motion for approval of the June 27, 2023 special meeting minutes.
I second.
Any discussion? If not, roll call please.
Yoonman,
Yes.
Agnieszka Garcia,
Yes.
Ellen John,
Yes.
Kevin Lim,
Yes.
Rebecca Lee,
Yes.
Anthony Kim,
Yes.
William Kim,
Yes.
Charlie Shin.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Now we are going to move to the committee appointments. Let's start with the finance, William Kim, please.
To make a motion to approve, finance section K consent agenda items 1 through 22.
I second.
Any discussion? If not, roll call please.
Yoonman,
Yes?
Agnieszka Garcia,
Yes.
Ellen John,
Yes.
Kevin Lim,
Yes.
Rebecca Lee,
Yes.
Anthony Kim,
Yes.
William Kim,
Yes.
Charlie Shin.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Next will be Building and Grounds Committee, Anthony Kim.
No report at this time.
Okay, thank you. Okay, move on on to personnel, Agnieszka.
There are 9 items, a motion for them to be approved on consent agenda.
Okay, second on that?
Second?
Okay. Is there any further discussion? If not, roll call please.
Yoonmin,
Yes.
Agnieszka Garcia,
Yes.
Helen John,
Yes.
Kevin Lim,
Yes.
Rebecca Lee,
Yes.
Anthony Kim,
Yes.
William Kim,
Yes.
Charlie Shen.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Next one will be curriculum, Rebecca Lee, please.
I would like to move consent agenda in the, with the 2 items presented before you.
I second.
Any other discussion? If not, roll call please.
Yoonmin,
Yes?
Agnieszka Garcia,
Yes.
Helen John,
Yes.
Kevin Lim,
Yes.
Rebecca Lee,
Yes.
Anthony Kim,
Yes.
William Kim,
Yes.
Charlie Shen.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Next one, negotiation, Kevin Lim.
There's no, agenda. Okay.
Okay, thank you. Next one is policy, Agnieszka Garcia.
There's no report.
Okay, thank you. Next one would be New Jersey NJ School Board Liaison alternate. Sujong is not here, so we'll go on to County School Board's rep alternate, Miss Helen Chan, please.
Yeah, I have the one consent agenda for the, Bergen County SBA meeting schedule. So 5 times per year. So first meeting is October 3rd.
Okay, we'll go on. Okay, next, thank you very much, Ms. Chan. Next one, School Safety and Security Committee.
There's no report, but as we discussed in the work session, staff and teachers will be reporting and reviewing school safety procedures, and there is a proposed meeting coming up with, Chief Espino in, putting a meeting together with all of the staff in each separate, school.
Thank you. Okay, now, we'll go into old business, no old business, right? Okay, new business.
I do have 2 items that I want to bring to the attention of the board. We do not require a resolution tonight, but over the past few weeks, maybe the last 2 or 3 weeks, I've had 2 requests. As you are all aware, we have a no visitor policy to our schools. But I've had 2 requests for different groups coming from South Korea, which I always like to entertain. I like to offer our students and students from afar the opportunity to work together, to collaborate. The first group is a group that is primarily working with middle school age children. It would be at the junior senior high school. And the second group is also going to be at the junior senior high school. They would both be prospective visits in October. I would share information with the board in the coming weeks for your opinions, review. Of course, we are constantly ensuring that this does not cause a substantial disruption to our normal school year. We want to be cognizant that school is in session, that we are a place of study, but we also know that, different groups lend itself to different types of learning styles, and we can learn from other groups like they can learn from us. So in the next week or so, I will be sharing with you information about the 2 groups, and if the board is okay, I would be recommending this for a visit in the month of October at our September meeting.
So is there any, like, a program we can exchange between those groups and our schools?
Yeah, what I've learned, Mr. Shin, a lot of times, I think the groups that come to the United States over, this is year 21 for me and 11 as superintendent, many of them are coming to the United States to visit our country, to see different colleges, universities, to go into New York City, to go to Washington, D.C., to see some of the prestigious, Ivy League schools. On the contrary, what I haven't seen a true sister school, if we want to call it that, where they visit us, we visit them. We haven't established a program where annually we work with the same school.
Right.
I have seen other districts do When I grew up, they were called pen pals. We would write letters to different schools. Now, in a generation of Zoom and Google Hangout, I've seen schools communicate. If it's not a time constraint issue with time, of course, they may be at night, we might be in the day. And that's the pen pal program these days. But we have never entered into an agreement where you come to us, we come to you, but that could be something to be considered.
Like, I'm not sure whether it could be possible or not, but like in college, like there is a student
Study
exchange
abroad.
program, right? Maybe that would not be the
I wanna
the
make
high
sure they
school
live here
case,
before I
but
let
we
them
can
in.
consider one not.
We're having an issue with residency, it sounds like, according to some people, so. No, we've had different programs. There are international programs
Yeah.
where students do, if they, again, live in Palisades Park, are entitled to an education here. We have had programs like that in the past, but I think there are multiple layers or levels to a exchange program.
Yeah.
Right now, I just wanna concentrate on a potential visit.
Okay.
Thank you.
Is there any coordinator, so we directly communicate with the schools, or?
Yeah, so in the past, there was a gentleman at the agency, Michael Moon was his name, that I've worked with in the past. There are different delegates from the Korean consulate that have contacted my office. Sometimes they go directly to Bergen County Department of Education. Or otherwise, I get a letter, an email, maybe they reach out to local members of the community. But that's normally the best and easiest way that people are in touch with me.
Any cost and finance kind of things involved?
No, so usually, there are times, Kevin, that's a great question, anytime that they come visit us, they, for whatever reason, and I'm not knocking Pontoni, please don't take it that way, but they always like a traditional American lunch. I don't know why, but they like it, but the truth is, our board cannot pay for other students' lunch programs. So usually, if there is a cost, they are responsible for that. Otherwise, there are no fees associated.
So, question is like, if they're willing to pay for the lunch and enjoy Pontonian lunch, would that be possible?
It would be possible so long that we have space. I don't wanna, first of all, we have to abide by fire code. Probably there's a number somewhere on a wall back there about how many people can be in each room.
Right.
If I have 100 visitors from Korea, and I already have 220 kids in the cafeteria, that would be a concern. So long that it is possible, we make accommodations.
When I read the letter.
Yes, I did share with Ms. Ms.
They
Min.
are, going to share the price for lunch if they join with us.
And we would have to let the cafeteria know
Of
that,
course,
make sure they have.
absolutely.
If there is any case like that, we want you discuss with us, okay?
Of course. If there's a case of, I'm sorry, what?
For like the visiting schedule.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm gonna share the letters with the board members, so you can review it, and it would need a vote, because if they're visiting, the board would have to approve it.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you, Dr. Surya. Next one, excuse me. Can I please have a motion to open audience participation?
I make a motion to open audience participation. I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Please be reminded 3 minutes, and please tell your address and name, please. Yes.
Mary Papote for 4 Glen Avenue. I'm very excited for the incoming year, and I heard a lot of new things that I like. I heard that the bathroom is very nice. Violet is very excited to see it, because the bathroom of the high school is getting fixed, and that's a new thing and a good thing for them. They very excited to see what is new, and this is something good. I have a question. I would like to know how many students we have in total, and like in 3 schools. And also I like the new program that Dr. Cirillo present about the suspension policy that they implement. That's something that I've been saying that we should put it here. Because that, if students make bad choice, they know where are they gonna go. Instead of put all the students and just stay home and have fun and not be in school. So that's something that a student will feel, I don't wanna get in trouble because I'm not gonna be home having fun. What is the consequence? So that's very good for us to start with that program, I really like that. And also I like the new registration, that they do in it. And I would like to ask all the members, I know you guys all have busy life, we all have it, but please this coming year to be more involved in our school. Participate, work together. We as a parent, we do our part, but you guys are a big part of this too, to get involved and participate. Because the student like to see that, and also you're gonna see more, just not being here for, half an hour meeting or an hour. You know what's going on in town, what's going on in the school, and that way we could take more better decision. So I would like to see you guys getting more involved, and I know you will. And I'm very excited for the coming year.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, if it's not,
Hopefully more parent next year, for the meeting. I'm gonna work for that.
bring them.
Please.
Okay, so can I have a motion to close audience participation and please answer?
I make a motion to close audio participation.
Oh, how many students, I wanna know.
Oh, we are going to
Yeah.
answer.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you for the kind words, thank you for being here. We currently on roll as of today, and I say today, because if you are a parent of a kindergarten student, or if you move to town next week, the number can change.
Yeah.
I must offer every child who lives here an education, but as of today, we have 1,709 students, 1709
In total.
total.
Is it reduced number?
That is reduced from last year, keep in mind,
Oh,
keep in mind. That's not a good thing. Not every student has registered. Some families, I will tell you, and I promise you, this building has kindergarten. When we have kindergarten registration, they could come here in May, they can come here in June, they can come here on September 4th. If they come here, it's hard for us to make class lists, and then, oh, we add another one, we add another one. Many times we see a lot of students come to us within the first 2 weeks of September. So, 1709 today. I would probably venture to say, next month when we sit at our meeting, we will be at least plus 20 students. Just based on my experiences in this community, within 1 month, it will go up at least 20 students.
so how many,
I
students
have
will
to
be
talk
for
to you
class?
later because we can't go back and forth.
I mean, I would like to know how many students we're gonna have for class if it's the number went down, and let's say it stayed like that, that I know it's not gonna stay that number, like how many students we'll have for class?
We don't have to reopen audience, so I'll answer. But the reality is, every class is different, as you know. I may have an AP art class at the high school with 6 students. I might have an English honors in 6th grade with 25 students. So it's hard to say what the class size is. We always are mindful of class size. Today I met with the principal of BCC, the director of special services. We talked about different numbers in our special education rooms. I met with the ELL supervisor, Ms. Moon. We talked about what bilingual numbers look like. We currently today have 52, I believe 52 students in this building in kindergarten alone who are ELL. Now that might mean they're ESL or bilingual students. Currently, the majority of that number is Hispanic. We are definitely going to have 1 full-time teacher Spanish bilingual, 2 full-time teachers Spanish bilingual. In addition, the law says we have to offer them at least 1 period a day of ESL. Currently today, I only have 3 students, 3, that are definitely eligible for Korean bilingual today. Now, I cannot run a full class with 1 teacher for 3 students. What I can do is ensure that my Korean bilingual teacher has those 3 students in her class. But she will also have other students, gen ed, kindergarten. So the numbers fluctuate. There's a report that's due every year to the State Department of Education, and it's on October 15th. And Christian is very much responsible for that report, as we all are, but I think the state realizes usually about 6 weeks after school starts is when you have a true indication of what your numbers will look like.
Okay, just for your information, in 2021, it was 1,719 students, and last year was 1,768 students, and now
1709.
1709. So if your calculation is correct, could be correct, then it
Maybe
could
we're
be
in the
like
middle somewhere.
1730 or 1740 something, right?
I don't go to Atlantic City too often, so don't bet, but I'm gonna say 20 is a conservative number.
Okay. Still a reduced number.
Depends on Mark, what the number should be.
Okay.
Can I just say one thing? I just wanted to make a shout out to 21 Golf for donating the lockers. It'll be coming in next week, hopefully.
Yeah. So, we did have a donation this summer also, so for the record, 21 Golf, 21, it's on Grand Ave, I believe. They had an excess number of lockers that they had no longer use for. Thank you for your assistance. I reached out to our athletic department, Dino Eliopoulos and the DPW. Thank you for all of their efforts. We are picking up the lockers next week. We are putting them in the girls' locker room at the junior, senior high school. I'll tell you right now, the lockers look brand new. You know how hard it is to get lockers, you know how expensive it is to get lockers. Anytime we are receiving, donations that are in good condition, I commend community members for reaching out to us.
That's good.
Thank you.
Doing good.
Okay.
No closed session.
No, okay, so that's it, right?
Yep.
So,
That is good.
okay, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
That's great. Have a good night, everyone.
Thank you.
Nice.